Me and a friend recently set ourselves the challenge: buy a used car for 300 performance points and tune it to a maximum of 560 performance points. What I ended up with is this, an absolute, in my opinion, track weapon. I want to introduce you to Deirdre, my 1965 Toyota Sports 800. I also want to show you one of the closest race finishes that I think I've ever seen. So close, in fact, that I think GT7 got it wrong. If you're interested in that, stick around to the end of the video. But let me show you first where you can buy this absolute gem. Now what you want to do is head over to the used car dealership, get your best Mike Brewer impression on, scour the pages until you find yourself a nice Toyota Sports 800. Now I've found myself a lovely little example, a little old dear in a lovely country cottage. I'm going to see if I can knock her down a bit. Not literally. Follow me. No, it's no good. She's not happy. We're going to have to buy it as is. She's very strict on that. You then want to hand it over to Ed China at GT Auto. He's going to change the oil, going to change the wheels, get it all track ready. So you can go from this to this. And in my opinion, that's something I would want to own. Now as you can see, as we flick through the categories, I've applied most things to the Sports 800. And that will set you back a grand total of 307,800 credits. Ouch. Now in terms of setup, it's not great straight out of the box. However, the one on the screen at the moment is pretty good. Now I can't take full credit for this one personally, therefore I want to give a huge thanks to my mummy. No, I want to give a huge thanks to this guy with his setup, and I want to link his channel in the description below. So as promised at the start of the video, I wanted to show you the closest race finish I think I've ever seen. Now this was a race between me and a good friend of mine. Now remember the challenge we set ourselves, starting at 300 performance points and tuning into a maximum of 560 performance points. Check this out. Two little beauties lined up on the grid. We've got the Sports 800 on the right and the Copen on the left. Now, one did a considerably better job than the other. I'm going to name no names. This is the older set. I haven't applied the new setup to the Sports 800 at this stage, so he was a bit squirrely. I'm not going to show you the whole race, don't worry. I just want to you need to get a vibe of what's going on. So down into turn one, I'm going to make a slight mistake here. I've gone wide. I've let him in. Let him in. There he goes. He's back on my tail. The Copen struggling for power, but it was better. It was better around the corners. That's where he could make up the time. I'm going to go wide again. Look at that. Oh, look at those marbles. You're not last. Look, a bit of grass cut in. The greenskeepers can pay me later. Down into the final corner of lap 2. Now, switch positions. We've got Petrolhead at the front. You can see how quickly I closed him on the straight. That was my one advantage. I knew that I had him on the straights. Down into turn 2, tried to position the car so that to force him narrow so I could take a wider line, all that business, you know what you're doing. Now looking at the inside, he's been surprisingly generous there. He could have really cut me off. So that's forced him narrow, and I've taken the inside line. However, we've got third gear coming out of the corner, and that ain't helping no one. Forcing him narrow again, it's worked again. He's obviously not learning. I'm sorry mate, but you need to start learning. So down, that finishes lap 4. Now this is the final lap. This is where things get interesting. Pulling that move again, forcing him narrow, take a wider line. I myself am not learning. I'm still coming out in the wrong gear, so that's third. There's not enough power to be coming out corners in third. So this is where things get interesting. So at this point you think there's no way I can win. But look. So I know I've got the power on the straight. So as long as I get a good run out of the hairpin, we're going to eye him up into this last corner. And he's been going narrow this whole time. I've been learning this, all the time. So I'm thinking my best chance is the outside. Now here we go. Outside. Keep power on. And this is going to be one of the closest finishes you'll ever see. And that is 0.001 0 of a second. Now, I think the Copen is in front there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, everyone. Let me know what you thought of the Sports 800. I'm Mad Lou Dog, signing out. May the force feedback be with you.